Hi, I'm Kate. Welcome to the Heart's Frontier. I'm so glad you're joining me today. And this is a pick a card reading. So I've got, looks like four cards here that I pre-shuffled. So I've got four cards here, and these will be the animals, and we will see, I'll pull maybe some other cards, or I'll just tune into the energy to see what that animal might be trying to tell you. Now, I should probably preface this with, if you're new here, welcome, like and subscribe if you do like the video. And if you like my vibe, you want to see more things that I put out, then make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're returning, I'm just so happy to be back. I'm so happy to have you here. But something I should mention, when I talk about animal guidance, animal messages and things like that, I want to be clear where that's coming from. So I'm approaching it from a shamanic angle. So shamanism is not a religion. It's just a set of practices that really has been found in lots of different communities and areas, even that wouldn't have had any contact with each other at the time, like really ancient practices we're talking about here. And this is the lens and focus that I'm, hoping to utilize when I approach anything that I do reading wise. So just to be clear and transparent about, if you don't know what any of that means, you can talk to me about it, and I'm happy to explain in more detail. But just for those who get it, then, you understand why I think it's important. Another thing that I'd like to, clear up is a lot of people ask me about the power animal readings that I was doing. And actually, I've decided to bring them back as well. I just really miss journeying. And so this is a way for me to get it in. And we'll see. I might end up having to really limit my hours on it, but we'll see. I'll keep it open for now. The power animal shamanic journeying sessions, and there'll also be inner child healing, soul retrieval, shamanic journey sessions. But anyways, the power animal ones, I really enjoy doing, but something that I preface every session with is saying there are different lineages that practice with animal spirits, and I personally wouldn't call anything I use a spirit animal unless it was given to me by someone who is in that community legitimately and practicing that. So I have been given a spirit animal for myself before. And who knows, I may be given more. I believe that you could have multiple from what I understand, but please do clarify anything if you want to share what you do. If you are Indigenous, especially if you're Indigenous to Turtle Island, Canada, if you want to share what you do, and if you offer anything related to, spiritual services, feel free to use the comment section. But what I'm practicing is really more Celtic shamanic lineage. And so any animals really that are of that land come up. But what I've understood is that, over time, over lots of different past lives, even for us, we can have visited many different areas of the world. And so for me to use a wider array of spirit animals in order to help the client, I think is really important. So when I tend to choose a power animal, which is what I would call it, a power animal, if I'm choosing a power animal that I'd like to call in, then I'm really looking for things that I might have met before or feel close to, either from the land that I was born on, or from Scotland, which is, where my family, one half comes from. And so, that's just, I guess, to get this a little bit out of the way. Power animal is what I would say is my term. Spirit animal, I really do feel belongs to specific lineages, of which I'm not a part of. And so I just want to honor that. And animal guidance in general is sort of an overarching term, because really, as far back as humans and animals have interacted, which is, I'm pretty sure, as long as humans have been around, whatever we call that time, humans and animals have had this, synergistic or symbiotic relationship. And a lot of the time, humans have created meaning, and, drawn and done artwork for showing their importance or connection to animals. So it's so clear that we receive some sort of spiritual meaning or inspired feeling with animals. And so this is why we like to use the framework of animals in readings. So just a little breakdown on, behind the scenes. I feel like I'm just explaining, but it's because I'm just been teaching intuition and energy a lot more these days. So I might just do more of that, showing you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. Anyway, here are the 4 cards. So you're not going to know what they are. I'm just going to put them up like this. My awkward struggling is back. Okay. So pick 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm not sure if it flips it. So that's 1. That's 2. I'm pointing with my nose. 3 and 4. There you go. So pick one that you feel drawn to and then skip ahead. The other thing you can do is you can just tune in and listen to all the messages. If if you're using this as background noise and you just want to tune in, listen to all the messages, and then let your mind pick up, whatever things that it wants to, that's something that you can do. Some of my clients do that. And I just thought I'd mention it because I don't think I'd really talked about that before. So 2, 3, 4. So this is pile number 1. Hello, pile number 1. It is so nice to have you here. I'm really excited to give you your power animal. This is actually the Spirit Animal Oracle deck. So yeah, that's a Colette Baron Reed. I'm not really sure her connection in that way, so I can't speak to it. But this is the Swan Spirit card. This is the animal who's coming in to say hello to you today. And so the swan is, to me, really representative. The swan to me represents femininity, grace, elegance. I pick up on a lot of sort of discernment. I see them as being almost calculating, but not in a harsh way. Also coming in here, you see all these pink flowers. So I'm really feeling connected to the heart chakra, and swans can be really associated with soulmate energy, with really loving partnership, especially devotion, like monogamous, two in a connection, devotion. This is just really reminiscent of that to me. Not all animals are like that. I really like also the symbolism of it meaning something graceful and something really poised. I think poise comes in there as well. And you can take whatever messages Swan has for you as well. So if I ever don't say something, feel free to just fill it in yourself. So the message under here is time for a deep dive. Okay. I feel like this currently is a time for you that you may have felt like you've just been going through the motions and sort of rolling along, maybe at a rapid pace. I'm feeling as though that you almost questioned a little bit, like, am I spiraling? Like, am I going a little bit out of control? And that out of control kind of energy is really because you're actually swimming at a surface level. So it feels like a lot of your concerns have been material or surface, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Okay, so let me get this out of the way. It's not a bad thing to care about money, possessions, surface matters. Especially, even in the realm of vanity, things like that. It's not a bad thing to care about those things. It's simply that sometimes when we're vibing up there and we don't really get deep with ourselves or get real or get honest or raw, we can actually feel at odds with ourselves. So it's not that it's a bad thing. It's just that sometimes we need to really deep dive to the depth of our real, true self, because really we are not, our possessions. We know that we're not our looks, and we're not our, money and whatever else that we'd concern ourselves with on that surface level. I hope you know what I mean when I say that. So the swan spirit here is really encouraging you to dive deep within yourself and allow yourself to almost like come home to yourself. So I'm actually feeling like this is a bit of romancing yourself. So even if you do have a partner in your life and you can work on, your soulmate connection, I feel right now it's really pertinent for you to just to go within, even if it's just for like an evening, just to yourself, really deeply actually reflecting. Something that might be helpful when you do that is doing some journaling or some, like I personally don't do journaling. I sit there and think. So if you have questions and you just sit there and think and you have enough focus to do that, then, you can do that as well. I will journal when it's something, sort of that I feel I need to express myself, but yeah, very like internal processor. So no judgment there. But I do feel you might need a bit of introverted time. So it may be that you have been for a while, but then you've only been thinking about surface things. Or it may be that you have not actually paused for a long time. And if you haven't paused, it's really hard to make sense of anything, right? So if you're trying to overthink something, but you really haven't paused and rested yet, it's going to be almost impossible to figure that thing out. So that may be a message for someone in there. Anywho, let's get a Healing with the Angels card just to support this message and see what else this swan energy could be helping you with. So the way I do these readings, it's sort of like this animal is showing up as a guide. So it's very loose. It's animal guidance, so it's really, this sort of frames the energy. And if you need it, I think this is kind of like a short-term thing to connect with swan energy. Now, if you've always connected with swan energy, just take what I say and, with a grain of salt, because obviously you're meant to connect with the animals that you're meant to connect to. But I do feel this is like a short-term concern. So it's not like you have to spend a whole bunch of time introverted. I'm actually hearing you really just need a night or a weekend, like you decide, but it feels like you just need a night or a weekend, and that will help you feel as though you've figured out enough of what you want in order to rise back to the surface and claim it. Okay, so I'm getting this image. This is really funny. I'm getting this image of a swan at the bottom of a lake. It's like not an ocean. It doesn't feel that deep, but it's like a lake. A swan at the bottom of a lake, and then sort of sorting things out. So it, defies the laws of nature and science here. The swan is like symbolically at the bottom of the lake, can breathe and everything. So this swan is like searching for different, like I'm looking at, it's like different like pearls and things, like it's really like shiny sort of, and so it could be, I'm hearing pearls of wisdom. So it could be that the swan is collecting pearls of wisdom and then rising up to the surface. When it rises to the surface, it's then clearing the way. And so what I'm seeing is actually a lot of debris lying on top of the surface. So you might feel also very pulled to animal causes in the near future or in general. So if that resonates with you, then this message is more so meant for you, I guess. I'm also seeing that cleaning up ocean debris is something that inspires you, perhaps. So I would definitely encourage you to look out for that. I'm also, that ding just came in. I should actually put my phone on silent. I'd like to put my phone on silent next time. And when it doesn't happen, I don't really mind, because it's usually giving my attention to something that I'm talking about here. So the thing I'm talking about here is the fact that it feels as though this swan is already like really connected to you. So maybe as you're listening to this reading, you're already sort of feeling that. Also, I don't know why, but this whole little, like during pile one, I've been really focused on my eyebrows and smoothing them out. So maybe that you are someone who is very particular about your eyebrows, or you need to go get your eyebrows done or something. I don't do my eyebrows, so it's just weird that I'm very bothered by them right now. So please take that if it resonates with you as well. Some odd messages coming through here. Okay, so we also have Retreat and Study. These are the two cards I pulled for you with the Healing with the Angels deck. So Retreat and Study. This deep dive could also be self-knowledge. So could very well be related to knowing yourself, doing a deep, I really have been feeling this whole time. It's like, do a deep dive by facing yourself. Like, look at where you're at right now in life. What got you there? What you want in the future? I mean, I guess it's timely, right? We're going into the New Year season, and a lot of people do do goal setting at this time and resolutions and that sort of thing. But also, this retreat feels inner, like it feels really like an inner retreat, a study, almost like you're cramming for a final of just who you are, like your essence, your being. And yeah, so if I could invite you to try and carve out some space in your life to pause and to really reflect and think on who you are and do like a personal assessment of yourself, really, I would also suggest and recommend that you talk about in that self-reflection your emotional state lately, what you feel your barriers are to the life that you desire for yourself. So what do you feel the barriers are to the life that you desire for yourself? And I would also ask yourself something along the lines of, am I doing the best I can to enjoy my life? So asking something in the realm of pleasure, enjoyment, celebration, something along those lines, it's really helpful. Sometimes people miss, that you go to all the strategy and you miss the emotional state, you miss the feeling in your life. You miss those types of reflections that really help inform what you should be doing. So just to, take it a different angle if you don't normally think that way. So retreat, study, and swan spirit. Another thing that I'm feeling really clearly for this group is hydration. So I just feel really connected to tell you to be in water and drink lots of water and maybe upgrade your water if you've been, if you've been like not replacing your filter or if you're looking at, I drink out of a copper water container sometimes. So if you're looking at different water vessels or things like that, maybe make a decision on them. What else? I feel this swan is also helping you with getting work done. Like I really feel if you've been struggling to feel entirely focused or to feel like you almost like I'm feeling like you're feeling a bit halted for your next step, or you're feeling like you're waiting, maybe just like waiting for people to come back off vacation or things like that. That's what I feel perhaps. So if you're feeling that way, take this time for yourself. You're going to see those people. They're going to get in contact with you, however, but take this time for yourself because you're going to need it. Like I feel like in January, you're going to really ramp up steam in some way. And so first you need to go inward and have this inner moment with yourself. So that is your advice or guidance, your animal guidance, pile 1. Thank you so much. And if you're interested in actually receiving a much deeper session to find a power animal for yourself, which you can really feel quite aligned to and use for, it's building a relationship with a power animal for, I would say, a decent period of time. I haven't really fully let go of any power animals of my past. So if you'd like to incorporate a power animal individually into your life, along with other spirit messages, I do shamanic journeying, and you can find that on my Podia site. I'll link it below. And really excited to start doing more of this work because shamanic journeying is something that is really been key in my own personal healing. And so, I just want to introduce it and present it to you all. So book the power animal journeying session if you're interested in that, or if the inner child soul retrieval is really fascinating, concept wise to you, then feel free. You can book that one, even if, you came from this video. Okay. That's been all. It's been so nice giving you some support. Let me know if this resonated. Tell me in the comments below if any part of this resonated. And we'll see you later, pile 1. Thanks so much. Okay, moving on to pile number 2. Oh. Pile number 2, we have brown bear spirit. Really cool. I really love brown bear energy, actually. I have quite a connection to bears. Okay, so already feeling very much protection energy and very much maternal energy. So no matter the form that you take up, any gender aside, brown bear energy feels to me very maternal, mothering, in that old traditional kind of way, folk, that sort of maternal primal is really a primal maternal instinct. The phrase that's on this card is take time out. Okay, so pile 2, I'm feeling like this brown bear is here to let you know that rest is not only necessary, not only useful, helpful, important, it's imminent. So I'm getting a really like a very tired, burdensome feeling. I'd also like to say this may be a pile that resonates with twin flames. So do let me know if that does resonate. I'd love to know if you're here and you resonate with the twin flame journey in some way. Okay. The brown bear spirit I'm really feeling is talking to you about rest being imminent, right? So rest is going to happen whether you like it or not. And I get the feeling like you've been working hard, but not giving yourself a break. So it really feels mentally taxing. I feel like you might have been giving yourself a really hard time lately about moving faster. So it could be that you feel you should already be at some place by now. I'm seeing that taking time out will give you that perspective that you need. So taking time out could be taking a social media and technology break. I do think that would be really, really healthy. I'm really seeing the cave imagery. So the cave is really coming clear as sort of a symbol for what you need to do, and the energy that you're protected in. So just to know fully and to mark in your calendar cave time, you can call it that too. I sometimes do that for myself. My vacation little nature trips off grid that I'm planning for myself this year are all shamanic cave trips. But I do feel like it's this symbol, right? You know what I mean? When you're in like this rocky cave, there's almost like blocking out the world around you, and that safety, that earthy guardedness, that's really like guardedness is also part of brown bear spirit. So it could be that you've actually got to put your guard up a little bit where needed. I feel like a lot of people have been depleting your energy lately, and it's just time for you to restore it and come back to yourself. And I'm also really, really drawn to the color of teal in turquoise in this reading. So if that's a color that you've been feeling drawn to, or it may just be a positively healing color for you, then yeah, feel free to take that. I'm going to pull some extra cards here. Ooh, one. Ooh. Okay. Goodness. I was trying to pull 2 cards, but you know how that goes. If you've been here before, you know how that goes. I don't get what I choose. So your first one is support. So pile 2, one of the ways that you can make room to take time out, and you need to do it now, because if you don't do it, it's coming for you no matter what, right? So you don't want it to catch you off guard. And that's the other thing. It's like this bear is like not sleeping yet. It's like really settling in. So it shows me that you're not ready to like lie down. And if you're not ready to lie down and you're just sleeping, but sleeping is like a Band-Aid on your life. What a harsh, I've never said that before. That's a really funny one. So like, it's like a Band-Aid on your life, where if you're just patching through with sleep and not really actually absorbing the fact that you're getting rest, then you're just going to feel overworked. And I really do feel like a massive, massive weight on my shoulders, on my back. Like it feels like you just need to take a load off. Like that's what it feels like. So you need to reach out for support. There's no way for you to take the time you need if you've been depleting yourself by giving out support. There's no way for you to really get everything you need just by saying, oh, I'm going to take the night off social media, right? Because you're still going to be thinking about those people. It's a bit of a process here to really take time out for yourself. You're going to have to also receive some support from people. So that could be, help from coworkers getting work pushed out of the way. It could be family agreements and being able to make space and time for yourself for however long is possible. And really maintaining that it is important, right? That it's really important for you. Funny, this one was flipped, so I don't know if you saw that one, but I'm curious about it. So then we have trust. So trust that you are safe. There's no way you're going, this is like a really pointed message on how you need to rest. So anyways, just acknowledge that, the first pile was self-knowledge, and this one is rest, deep rest. So trust that when you take time out, things are going to be okay. Things are going to move along almost too smoothly without you. And it's funny what we tell our egos as far as how people desperately need us, or how, nothing will be okay if we step away from it, that it will fail immediately if we turn our eye from it, which most of the time is quite illogical and not true. And so just take the moment to say, like when you stop, take the moment to remind yourself that you've been in a pattern of not trusting. So you need to land in a place yourself of safety. So it's like if you were, I don't know, renting an Airbnb for yourself, or if you were just like going into your room because that's the room that you have to take your time out in, you go into this room and you say, okay, it's just me here. I'm safe. And I need to clear out the fears that I've had today about other people. This feels like I don't know why, but this pile feels very, very like connected to people, like almost codependent. Perhaps it's just a community that's like sort of codependent on each other. And it feels like a lot of favors and helping each other out, and like reliance has left you feeling not yourself. And so this taking time out is really to remind yourself who you are. And this who you are is where that hibernation will heal you. So this hibernation that you take is actually going to allow you to come out, not in the springtime, earlier than that, not in the springtime. Earlier, like more March, but it feels like come March, you're going to feel like very proud and very, very good at boundaries and powerful. And so the hibernation that you take here, that's what you're going to teach, right? You're going to teach other people in your life how to be powerful, how to live in accordance with your own boundaries in order to provide and secure what you need in your life. And you're also going to be role modeling this maternal instinct that you have, and this very, very caring, loving, and responsible, devoted nature that you have. Okay, and then you may be renewing love or finding a new love. So in the case of these people who are on this twin flame journey, I really do feel it's more renewed love. And in the case of people who are simply open or single, it is new love. If you are married, there may be one person or two here who are listening who are married. It's a smaller percentage, I feel, with this group. But if you are married, this may be that it's a new sense of love, and it could also be that there is a new person of love interest in your life at some point. So it really feels like could be pointing to a much later time. That's a very, very specific message. So just take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If you're stuck on it and a bit curious about it, you can always book a session with me. I do have smaller sessions too, like the 30-minute Oracle session. So you can book that. I wanted to share as well with this group that we can do a spirit animal session of our own. So it really is power animals from my lineage. So power animal journeying. And so I do shamanic journeying. And what that looks like is us talking, me doing a little bit of, conversation with you, but really not searching for many details. I'll do some energetic work without really talking. And then I will do some drumming, or I'll listen to drums, or sometimes I do take silence. It depends on the vibe and what, my spirit guides are guiding me to do. And and then I'll give you these, the power animal that I retrieved for you from the non-ordinary realm. And then I'll also tell you about the journey that I went on, what I saw in that time, and how, you might be able to take that with you. Something that I try not to do is overanalyze too much in that time. I think it's really key that we integrate whenever something powerful happens to us, whenever something of a spiritual nature comes our way. I think it's really important to integrate. And so to move along your path and remember our session is great. And I'm always there to, touch base if you're working with the power animal and some more growing and healing comes up. So you can book that down below. And I hope you got something out of your message, that you take the time to rest. I'm really feeling like a really comfortable bed and maybe an upgrade in your blanket or duvet or pillows or something would be of great benefit to you. And please do enjoy and take the rest you need. And you know what? While I'm thinking of it, Brown Bear, pile 2 energy here. If you're feeling like really overly stressed and overwired, and you're like, it's not even possible for me to get to that place, try to book a session to talk to me. But also, there is this vagus nerve, nomadic nerves course that I built with my friend Kat O'Brien over on Nourished Nomad Co. In the nomadic nerves program, I'll link below. I'll try and remember this. If I forget and pile 2, you want that link, let me know. So the nomadic nerves program is for the vagus nerve, and it helps you deal with stress and really chill your body out and turn on that response of really not being like so heightened by your environment. And there's lots of different tools in there. There's a 2-hour webinar on the vagus nerve, and you can understand it better. That was some weird lighting. And don't forget to stay hydrated. I'm doing the same right now. All right. Take care, pile 2, and chat to you soon. Welcome, pile 3. This is your animal guidance reading. And so you have flamingo spirit. Flamingo. So you can just take a moment to take in, what does flamingo mean to you? You might have just giggled, because I know most clients, if I give them flamingo, would giggle. I think I've given 2 power animals as flamingo at this point. So always a bit of a silly revelation, I'm sure. And so it says, embrace the in-between. How fitting. We are at this, what I would consider, if you're watching this in current time, I would consider this an in-between time. We're in between Christmas and New Year's. And so it feels as though there's lots of people waiting on things. And so, okay. Take what you will with the flamingo spirit. I feel like this is bringing out a side of you, which is playful. I feel as though you're getting into maybe a position where you're going to need to be a bit more visible. And so you might need to be meeting a lot more people or talking to a lot more people in order to get to that next step. I also feel as though you may need to take photos of yourself. So if you own a business, let me know. I'd love to know down below. But I also feel like you might be trying to stand out in a little bit more of a way that, isn't as helpful to you. So I guess what I mean by that is it feels like you might be trying a bit too hard, and really putting a lot of yourself out there, or attempting to, or maybe you're just wanting to do that, but not doing it. It feels like there's a lot of inner conflict. It feels there's a lot of going back and forth with you, which actually makes a lot of sense for this embrace the in-between. But it really feels like you're like flip-flopping a lot, like you're like changing your mind in many ways. So it's like you wake up thinking one thing, and then halfway through the day, you're like thinking a totally different thing. or feeling a totally different way. And so you're feeling a little bit kind of thrown around a little bit all over the place, and not necessarily in a detrimental way. I think you're still getting what you need to done. And I think you're still like probably getting along with who you need to get along with, and feeling as though you're beefing up your confidence, but nobody really hates on you for it. But it may be distancing you from some people. So just be aware of that. If your confidence is increasing, but you might be experiencing some emotional distance, that could be what's going on there. I'm going to pull a Healing with the Angels card for you, pile 3, Flamingo. I also feel like a lot of this is about being on display. So I know sometimes people think peacocks are but I do just think the color of flamingo always stands out to me so much as a very unique thing. And so this could also be telling you to pay attention to your own unique nature. I get the sense you've been kind of unsettled in your mind. And this unsettling feeling is likely because you're a bit shaken in your identity. So it's actually because you're maybe doing like I'm doing a rebrand or a redesign, and that's really funny. So it could be that you're doing a rebrand or redesign for your business, but it could also be you're doing like a 2.0 upgrade on yourself, or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.0, whatever it is. I feel also that this, it's like dressing sharply is a part of this for you. So, yeah, it's really interesting. I'd be interested also to know at this point if anyone is watching through all these messages, whether it relates to you, because I've felt some similar energies popping in and out throughout these readings. So curious to know. Let me know in the comments if you are watching the longer way. So these are your Healing with the Angel cards. We have Serenity. I thought it said self-love for a second. That's really funny. Serenity. Perhaps some self-love is also needed for you. And then we have Surrender and Release. It's a really, really cool card. Okay. So Serenity, this is funny. So you may be a Seinfeld fan, because I'm definitely like the Serenity Now references sort of getting like hammered into my brain. But the Serenity piece is also connected to inner, like your inner image. So it's like you need to find some wavelength that is steady and serene. So if you imagine your mind and your agitated state is like a pond with a bunch of ripples in it, and it's very active. It's like there's rain on it and it's noisy and there's lots of ripples. What you're doing is just lifting the rain so that there's no extra drops, and the pond will eventually just settle out. And that settling out, that serenity, that's what's needed for your vibe here in order to embrace the in-between. Because part of the reason you're not able to embrace this in-between of now to what you want, now to what you want is whatever it is in the future that you decide it is. And the only reason that you're stressing out is because you're focusing on the gap, right? You're not focusing on the fact that that's totally true and that's going to happen. And you're not focusing on the now either. So it just feels really inefficient. So if you're going to if you're in the in-between and you're going to jump from now to the future, I don't know which way to point, now to the future. If you're going to point from now to the future and then you're going to get stuck in that in-between, just chase one side or the other. Okay. So you either chase simply the excited dream of it existing and it being true for you, and that is going to happen. And you entertain that thought for however long you want to entertain it for, and then you move on with your life. Or you right away go into the now, into the present moment, using whatever technique you want to use to get yourself in the present moment. I've got lots. So if you want to learn some from me, you can book a session with me. I'd be happy to talk you through some of those things, and also, do a reading for you and let you know where you're at. Okay. Also, you may have been very chatty lately, because I feel or you just might be a chatty person. I feel right now on this pile, extremely chatty, like high energy, sort of communicative. I'm also hearing Gemini or Sagittarius. So if that relates to you, then that relates to you. So surrender and release. I really feel like you need to release other people's expectations of you right stat now. It feels as though other people's opinions are playing in your mind a lot, and that's what that is feeling like to me. The surrender and release piece feels like it's going to be really difficult to embrace any time now or the future if you're living according to someone else's wishes of how you would live, or if you're just really concerned about someone's opinion. I really think that's doing a lot of damage, and the only person that is allowing that damage to happen is you, because you decide how important someone else's opinion is to you or not. So in this moment, if there's anyone in your life where you're going, yeah, that person's opinion matters probably a bit too much to me, it might not be that healthy or good, then tell yourself, that is going to matter less to me now. That used to be very important to me. It's less important to me now. And the more that you repeat and acknowledge that as true, and the more that your thinking lines up with that, the more it becomes true, right? Not because some other thing happens, but just because your thinking makes it so. And everything is based on how we perceive things. So this in between for you is really a moment in your life. And, as long as you're not veering into distancing your relationships with overconfidence, then just simply focusing on yourself, your confidence, and either being excited for this wicked awesome future you're going to have, or happy with the beautiful now that you already exist in and that is here with us while you're watching this video. So that is your power animal message, your animal guidance, we're going to say. This is your animal guidance, animal spirit messages for Flamingo for pile 3. So thanks so much. And if you are interested in booking a power animal retrieval, which is an individualized one-on-one session that we would do, it's me shamanic journeying on your behalf. And I walk you through the process on the call, but just to give you a bit of a, sneak peek, it's really a little quick conversation about how it works, some energy clearing, some empowerment, where I give some messages, some affirmations and things like that. Not necessarily a discussion, more so feeding what I'm picking up that your energy needs in order to feel fully energized. And then I go journey on your behalf to the non-ordinary world, and I look for a power animal to bring back to you. And usually I receive other messages at that time. Then I come back from my trance, and then I speak with you about what I saw. And then we see how those develop over time in your life. And also you'll see, immediately you'll have some sort of feeling either way. But usually within the first few weeks to months, you'll definitely notice how that becomes a shift in your life. And so I really love using animal guidance framework and shamanic journeying framework for the work that I do. Feel free also, if you're interested, there is an inner child journeying soul retrieval session. So you can check that out if it's of more interest to you. If that really resonates, then I can go in with that focus for you. Sometimes we just get what we get. So an animal will come in, there, or a child will come into another reading. But for the most part, try to line up with at least one mission as I go in. Okay, that's everything, pile 3. It was a pleasure hanging out with you. And don't forget to play as well. I think play is like a really important thing for enjoying the present moment. So thank you, pile 3. Hope to chat to you soon. Let me know, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know you're here. Okay. Pile 4, Crow Spirit. I feel very close with Crow Spirit, so I'm very excited to talk to you, pile 4. And who knows, maybe I'll end up rewatching this and thinking, oh, this is my pile. All right. I'm on pile 4 now, so I am getting more dehydrated and just more thirsty. I'm on a juice cleanse, I guess. I'm on a juice cleanse, and so, anyways, that being said, we're going to power through this. I'm really excited. Crow Spirit is about co-creation. So already I'm feeling like you have a lot to say, that you are, I feel like you're working on something that you're going to bring out to the world in a loud way, like with a bang. I'm hearing. I'm also feeling like you're beginning to see the light sides of things a lot more clearly. So I kind of get this image of a crow, but the wings being sort of shiny and almost like things glistening or glinting off of the wings. And so this crow is sort of symbolizing to me that you're going to be looking for a way to shine outward and to perhaps bring something to light. And so co-creating with spirit is a great way to do that. And co-creating really is working in your mind and in your heart, in your body, in alignment with the idea that you are ever expanding, and that, for this context, I really feel like it's believing that you have unlimited potential for the things that you feel called to do. So it's not me saying like, I'm going to go join a basketball team. I'm sure not going to do that. But something that I desperately desire in my life, it feels possible because I have this ongoing relationship with spirit and with spiritual guidance, wherever you source that from. And this ongoing conversation helps me say, I know what I'm here for. I know what's next. I like this making stuff up as I go and seeing how things go. I like that feeling. So it could also be that you have been changing a lot lately. And so Crow is helping you create this next chapter. Okay, so I'm pulling an angel healing card, healing with the angels. Okay, I'm going to read this one actually, because a spirit jumped out. So that's kind of funny, right? Because this one, it feels very spiritual in nature, this deck. Okay, I just said that. I said this feels very spiritual in nature, this pile 4, you. And then this came out and it's spiritual growth. So obviously, you're in a time of some spiritual growth. You may have been experiencing some ascension symptoms. So your sleep may be kind of messed up. You may also be feeling like you have abundance of energy, and then like maybe none, but often when people are ascending, they're in this like high energy state, but it feels like maybe a little bizarre to you. So reach out to me if you're kind of going through some like ascension flu things, or if you're just wanting to connect with someone who gets it, because I've been there. And also enjoy that this is a time for you to expand your mind and expand your skills. And so spiritual growth popped out with harmony. And harmony also, there's music in here and wings. So if you are drawn to working with angels, this may be an extra message for you, because I was already drawn to the crow wings and the gold and then this. I mean, I know it's a healing with the angels deck, but I really feel like this pile might be more associated with that, because we also got Archangel Michael. And I am drawn to read, Archangel Michael. I am drawn to read the description here for Archangel Michael. So let's see what he has to say. This powerful archangel is with you right now. He gives you courage and helps release you from the effects of fear. So Archangel Michael is making his presence known to you. He is the symbol of true courage, stemming from knowing that God's love is the only power there is. Michael is letting you know that as you make changes in your life and as you encounter challenges, you are safe and secure. God and the angels help you stay true to yourself during trying times. Okay. Have heart-to-heart discussions with Michael often. Pour out all your concerns to him. Don't worry about overburdening him. Michael, like all the archangels, is able to be with everyone simultaneously who needs him. He has no limitations of time or space, so he can help you and others concurrently. So what I'm sensing is that you feel like you've had to go it alone. And what I'm also going to tell you, crow energy, and if you feel associated with the twin flame journey, I would suggest that you also watch pile 2, because I'm feeling as though here's the connect. So there is pile 2 with the twin flame, and then also pile 4. So if you listen to one, then go back to the other. And I'll let Brown Bear Spirit pile 2 know to come look at this reading as well. So when it comes to Archangel Michael, I'm sensing also that you may have stepped away from your faith as an actual practice. And for whatever reason that came up for you, it's totally fine. We're meant to step off and on to our journey in order to discern which path is ours. I really feel like it's almost like they're intertwining and moving. And sometimes we take just a slightly to the side path, and then we find our right line. And it's not up to me to decide anyone's right line, right? So if you have felt really disconnected to your faith, I'd really highly recommend you devote yourself to whatever would ground you in that and whatever practices you enjoy. So it could be something that you just had from your childhood and you just want to bring it back to have some nostalgic, spiritual connection. Even if it's not your overarching practice, that's totally fine too. It feels as though you need a lot less rules and a lot less boundaries, Crow. So this pile 4 energy feels like you've got to keep making your own individual mark on the world. And this individual mark is going to help you connect to others and continue that co-creating. So it's not possible for you to co-create with someone else's dreams and visions and things. You really need to line up for your own. And I think brown bear had a lot to do with codependency too. So it could be that there's this trigger in your life of codependency as well. I'm just really feeling a lot of this similar energy here. And another piece that I wanted to share with Crow Spirit is I feel like you need to be really discerning of your time right now. So really clear on how you spend your time, what you spend your time on, and who you're spending your time with. I think that's going to be really important for the next few weeks for you. So whenever you watch this, hopefully you're able to create some of those clear boundaries and those lines to help you navigate this. So hopefully this helped or resonated with you, connected with you, and you're getting the guidance that you need. And if you would like an individualized session with me to do a power animal retrieval shamanic journeying session, you can book that down below, and I'd be really excited to see you, especially because I already know that you're spiritual. It'd be really awesome to deliver some more messages to you. I love when spiritual people who are already kind of engaged come to see me. I love when anyone comes to see me. But I love when, more spiritual folks come to see me, because then I also get to give a lot of messages because they're really ready to receive them. And so a lot more come through. So it's always very exciting for me. You can book that down below. And any other questions, feel free to reach out. And even if you just watched this video and you wanted to do an inner child shamanic journey, that's fine too. You'll see that I have lots of different things coming back now that I can serve more. So thank you so much for tuning in, Crow Spirit. And if you're one of the people who has watched all the way through, then, kudos to you. I'd love to know what you resonated with, and look forward to releasing more videos. So nice to be here again, and I will see you all soon.